before you know it. I promise.
I need to tell you something.
Welcome back to GameVault HQ. Today, we're diving into Hollowbody, a game that unapologetically pays homage to the PS2 survival horror era. Think of Silent Hill, but set in a decaying urban wasteland, drenched in a tech-noir aesthetic. Developed by Headwear Games, Hollowbody throws you into the shoes of Micah, an unlicensed shipper trying to survive in a quarantine zone as she searches for her missing partner, Sasha. The game's story kicks off with a bang, instantly plunging you into the eerie, rain-soaked ruins of a post-apocalyptic British city. Let's cut right to the chase. This game doesn't mess around with atmosphere. From the very first step, you're navigating through tight, claustrophobic streets and crumbling apartment complexes, armed with scarce resources and facing off against grotesque enemies. Every encounter with the shambling strays feels like a fight for survival. Ammo is ridiculously limited, forcing you to make every shot count, adding a layer of tension that's been missing in modern horror games. The fixed camera angle and over-the-shoulder perspective blend old-school survival horror with some modern touches. While the camera sometimes feels awkward, especially in tight spaces, it does a solid job of making you feel constantly on edge. It's like being trapped in a classic Resident Evil game with a tech-noir twist. The environments are bleak but beautiful, with broken-down interiors that make you feel like you're walking through the aftermath of a disaster, while the rain and darkness add to the game's melancholy mood. But what's a survival horror game without a proper sound design? Hollowbody nails it. The sound of distant footsteps, the screeching of unseen enemies, and the rain hammering down around you, it all keeps you on edge. There are moments of silence that make every new hallway feel like the calm before the storm. Now, the game isn't without its flaws. Hollowbody embraces its retro inspirations, but this occasionally makes things feel a little too old school in the wrong ways. Some of the puzzles feel like they're straight out of a PS2 title. Think fetch quests that break up the pacing more than they should. And while the enemies are terrifying at first, they can start to feel a bit repetitive as you get deeper into the game. The combat, while intentionally clunky to evoke that retro feel, sometimes borders on frustrating, especially when you're low on ammo and backed into a corner by the game's hulking monsters. Graphically, the game hits all the right notes for fans of retro horror. The environment feels alive, or more accurately dead, but in a beautifully decayed way. The urban decay, combined with a British backdrop, gives the game a distinct flavor that sets it apart from its influences like Silent Hill and Resident Evil. Every area feels meticulously crafted to evoke a sense of dread and decay. The only downside? Some collision issues here and there, but nothing that breaks the game entirely. As for performance, the game runs smoothly, even on lower-end systems like the Steam Deck. It offers both a casual mode for those who want a more relaxed experience and an intended mode that cranks up the difficulty for purists. Casual gamers and hardcore survival horror fans alike will find something to love here. However, it's worth noting that a few small bugs remain, mostly related to sound effects missing in some instances. Nothing game-breaking, but enough to occasionally pull you out of the immersion. In the end, Hollowbody is an excellent tribute to classic survival horror. It's not perfect, no game is, but for fans of the genre, especially those who grew up playing Silent Hill and Resident Evil, it's a must-play. The atmosphere alone is worth the price of admission, and if you can get past some of the more frustrating elements, you'll find yourself drawn into a world that feels familiar, yet fresh. We give Hollowbody a solid 7.5 out of 10. If you're a fan of retro horror games, it's a love letter to the genre that shouldn't be missed. If you enjoyed this review and want more content like this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to GameVault HQ. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest game reviews. Share your thoughts on Hollowbody in the comments below. Did it capture that retro horror vibe for you? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.